boys. Hadithi.
My dad's name is Fobe, right? But because my dad likes things, he calls himself Forbes. And that's the name that everyone has known him to be in. I mean, my dad was the kind of man that, well, is the kind of man, he's still alive, who a lot of people in our society used to look up to. He was cool like that. Him calling himself Forbes, I even thought that the Forbes magazine was named after my dad. That's how special I thought my dad was. Growing up, I was the apple of his eye. I mean, the way he treated me was like a golden egg. You know, like he held me so fragilely. Is that the word? Fragilely. That he was almost afraid that I would fall. He would protect me from the world. I was everything in his eyes, and I felt it. But then things changed when I started to see the bad side of my father. You see, when we grow up, we idolize our dads because they are our first true loves. I mean, when you grow up as a young girl, your dad is the first example of that man, you know, that everything of yours. And so my dad was that until I grew up and I saw what good and bad was. And I saw that my dad has a bad side too. I can recall a moment in my life. I was 15 years old when my father on New Year's Eve that year left me and my 13-year-old brother alone in a big house. What happened was, it was New Year's Eve and we're about to prepare to have a braai. It's him and his kids. We're going to have a braai, just the three of us, right? He takes out the braai stand and places it outside where we used to have our braais. We had a beautiful garden outside, green grass, we had flowers, roses. You know, it was beautiful, and it was always lovely when we would have those braais because it was a time with daddy. And so daddy put his braai stand outside, and then he got a call from who I don't know. But after 10 minutes, he was out and left two teenagers alone in a big house on New Year's Eve. Now, many of you know that New Year's Eve things get wild. New Year's Eve, people take out guns and they shoot in the air. New Year's Eve things get rough, you know. New Year's Eve is not safe because people do crazy things. And now here we are as teenagers alone in the house. What do? 15-year-old me, newly found freedom. I go out to a party, right? I leave my brother alone. He will see for himself. I go to a party and we party, you know. And the next thing I know, my sister is arriving at the party where I am. We are both drunk as teenagers. We're drunk, we're high, and all of these things. Because for me, that was a time when I could just do whatever I wanted to do. He was not in the house, nobody was in the house. I did not care about anything. And so we partied, and my sister came there, and she stopped the party, and she was like, "Where's my sister?" And the embarrassment in my eyes. She found me and she took me home. When we got home, it was 2 streets away from where we lived. When we got home, my brother was there trying to cook. The house almost burnt down. He had his friends there and they were trying to make food because they were hungry. We hadn't eaten that day. Now I went out and I ate wherever I went, partying, and then drank and ate. My brother was there with his other younger friends and they were trying to cook. And in that, they almost burnt the house down. So we got there just in time to stop that. When I look at that, in retrospect, I think to myself, who in their right minds would do that? Leave 2 children in a big house and just disappear? and be nowhere to be found? What if somebody came in the house and mugged us? What if somebody stole in the house? What if we got murdered? What if I got raped? And he was not there. He was gone to God knows where. I still don't know even to this day where he was, but he came back the next day. Emini. Now when I look back at that moment where I felt so much neglect, where I felt so much unworthiness, that you left us there and we could have died, something could have happened to us, and you left. That for me was heartbreaking when I look at it as an older child. Then it was like, yeah, you can go, me, I'll go party. But now when you look at it as a person who can think, you think to yourself, who does that? Like, how can you leave children in the house? Did we not mean anything to you? Did you not love us? And then I also think my dad had a rough childhood. He had no father, and his mother neglected him. So in actual fact, he did not know how to love us, and he did not know how to father us. I'm not condoning his behavior or his actions, but I think that sometimes when you put yourself in another person's shoes, you can understand where they were coming from. He did not know how to love. And today I can say that my father did the best that he knew how to do. And that was how he fathered us, how he knew best how to do. And that's my story, guys. Thank you.